need parking in the basement. And he said, it's not going to happen. So thanks very much for helping with that. So today's session we are going to record because there are many people that would have loved to be here but couldn't. And so we will be recording and editing and snipping the session because it's going to be quite jam-packed. I hope you didn't come with the expectation of sitting back and being entertained for the day. We are going to be doing some work this afternoon in figuring a few things out. But first, a welcome to all of our special guests, being the community members. I went through the list. We've got contractors, consultants, architects, quantity surveyors, researchers, policymakers, software providers, educators, authorities, client organizations, manufacturers, professional bodies, and then we have Paul and Holly.
What about Sandro?
Are you guys an authority? Yes, you are. So, welcome everyone. And one of our particular tenets here at the community is that we leave our badges at the door. And what that means is when it comes to trying to change the world, we're all on the same team. There's no master and slave, there's no leader and follower. It's about us as a community figuring out how we're going to change the industry. And so today at our fourth session to figure this out, I'm hoping that we're going to make quite a big step change in terms of the thinking that comes out of these sessions. Some quick housekeeping before I do a recap of our journey today. By now you should have hopefully found the bathrooms, but if you haven't yet, straight across from the elevators is a small bathroom. If that is occupied, if you go one floor up, there's another bathroom directly above it. If that is occupied, across the entrance hall, you'll see a sign to a restroom as well. There are ladies and gents. We don't have the combined ones. Then in terms of evacuation procedures, we don't have any planned evacuations today. It's good news. If something were to happen, for us, we go straight out the front door, down the ramp, and across the road, and there will be marshals guiding us to the soccer pitch, which is where we gather if something happens. You would have, some of you, enjoyed the coffee from our coffee station outside. There's coffee inside if you want filter, but if you want a fancy coffee, it's on the house for us. So if you show them your badge, then you'll be able to get some fancy coffee there. We do have a smoker's balcony, which is great news. It's out there. So if you want to go and have a puff during the break, please join the smoker's balcony. Close this again. And you're welcome to go and get your nicotine fix there. We will have tea time halfway through. We'll be back in the patio for that. And then again, after this afternoon, please do stay if you can for drinks and more discussions around how we change the world. So today's objective is to learn more about the standard and to really get an overview from zero to hero. You would have noticed some big flowcharts on the walls. They're going to feature quite prominently. We also want to learn about a national annex and what it is and what it means for us. And that's where we're actually heading today, is how are we going to get this thing done? And so we're going to end today with a call to action. So as you listen and participate today, start thinking, how can you be involved? And we will talk about what the best ways to do that are. We've had 3 of these sessions so far. Number 1, Cadessa 1, was all about a general meeting of minds. It was us getting together and saying, all right, do we agree that we want to do engineering and design and construction and asset management and procurement better? And the consensus was, yes, we do. Great. Number 2, we focused on lessons learned from elsewhere. And so we had participants from Northern Europe, from America, telling about how things are going in other parts of the world. And it was really interesting to hear of some of their pain points, some of their successes. And for me personally, it was a real reality check that, you know, we whine and whinge about things sometimes, but where it is happening in the world, it was because people just got it done. And I thought, well, that's great, because here in South Africa, we like to get things done as well. So that's perfect. Let's follow suit. Our most recent one was all about pain points. And we got around and had a lot of group therapy around, what's wrong and why can't we do this, and what's too expensive and what's too difficult, and too many silos. We need more skills. We need standards. But amongst all of those three, we agreed on a couple of things. We said, number one, we need a systematic approach to information delivery in South Africa. We also need to understand what that means. We need, number two, to plan better at the beginning of our projects, because when we fail to plan, we plan to fail. We all know that one. We need BIM to be included in contracts and standard forms of agreement, so that it's not just someone's clever idea, but it's actually something we need to deliver on. We agreed that adoption will involve people and processes and technology. And although all of us are very interested in technology, it's not the be-all and the end-all, but the people and processes are really part of it. And when technology doesn't work, it does that. Thank you for providing the comic relief. We also agreed that having a united and agreed upon workflow that underpins everything is going to be key. So, segue onto the workflows on the wall. So the status quo is that we have a SANS 19650 Part 1 and Part 2 in South Africa. Fantastic. We don't have an annex. We need one, and there's a few other parts we need to bring on. And so that's where we are today. We're very pleased to be joined by colleagues from CIDB who have already shared with us their roadmap and are bravely taking on the challenge of spearheading the development of the National Annex. So, I think I knew what a National Annex was, but I wanted to see what ChatGPT said. So I said, ChatGPT, please explain to a 12-year-old what an ISO 19650 National Annex is. And this is what it said. Imagine you have a big book of rules for building a model city using blocks, where each block represents a part of a building or a road. This book helps everyone understand how to build their parts so that everything fits perfectly together. This book is like the ISO 19650 standard, which is used all over the world to help people build real buildings and cities in a smart, organized way using computers. Now, different places might have different types of blocks or different ways that they like to build buildings. A national annex to ISO 19650 is like a special chapter added at the end of the rule book just for a specific country. It explains extra rules or changes to make sure that the big book works well with the types of blocks and building styles that are popular in that country. This special chapter helps everyone in that country use the big book better and build things more efficiently. It's pretty good. So I must say I learned a thing or two about the National Annex in that simplified explanation.